إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعين به ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا من سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح لهذه الأمة فجعلها على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. It is said at a certain age and era, a king had a favorite servant among all of his servants, and that particular servant was his favorite. He gave him everything, paid him well, appreciated him more than any of the other servants that king had. That servant was nothing special in his physical appearance or in his color or in his shape, nor the value the king has purchased that servant for. So others were amazed and didn't know why that servant is the favorite among the king. One day the king went on one of his trips. With him, a group of his friends and servants. As he stood up, he looked at a distant mountain. That mountain top had snow. He looked at it for a moment and then put his head down. At this movement of his head, his favorite servant in no time jumped on his horse and disappeared from everybody else who was there. An hour later, that man came, the servant, and he had the snow in his hand for the king. The king looked at him and he said in front of the other people around him, "How did you know that I wanted some of that snow on top of the mountain?" The servant said, "Because I saw you looking at it. And when kings look and stare at something, this means it is something that is serious they want to have." So the king at that moment looked at everybody around him and he said, "Now you know why this servant is my favorite and the most person I'm generous with in giving him what he is rewarded or a reward to him. And he is closest to me than any one of you who is standing next to me. Because every one of you here is busy with himself. But that servant, he is only busy in watching me what I want and what I desire. That is why he is the most favorite among me." End of the story. Imam al-Razi talks about another situation. One of the scholars had a group of students that he teaches, and one of these students is his favorite, and everyone knows that that student is his favorite. So they asked the scholar, "Why do you favor that student more than any of the others?" He said, I will show you now. He gave every one of his students a bird, a live bird. And he said to each one of them, go slaughter the bird in a place that no one can see you. So every student went in a different direction, in a different place, and came back to the scholar with a slaughtered bird in their hands, except one student. He came back with the bird still alive in his hand. So this sheikh and the scholar asked him, why didn't you slaughter the bird? The student said, you told me to slaughter a bird in a place where no one can see me. I couldn't find a place that no one can see me, because Allah can see me wherever I go. So the sheikh looked back at the people around him and the rest of the students and said, that is why this student is my favorite among all of you. In a third situation, a group of men were sitting and talking and laughing together. And one of their colleagues was sitting in a distant place from them. He's one of them, but he chose to stay away from them. So that person, a man came to him and said to him, how come you're not with these people? He said to him, remembering Allah is more enjoyable than the conversation and the laughter these people have. So I said to him, but you are sitting alone. He said, no, with me is Allah Almighty and the two angels. Then he said to him, among all of you and your friends, whom do you think is better towards Allah Almighty? He said, the one whom Allah forgives is the winner among us. Then the man said to him, where are you going? He said to him, he aimed at the heavens, towards the heavens. And the man stood up and walked and said, as he left, he said, oh Allah, forgive me. Most of your creatures are busy away from being watchful of you. In the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when Jibreel alayhi salam came and asked him about Islam and Iman and Ihsan, and Jibreel asked the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tell me about Ihsan. The Prophet Muhammad gave the definition. He said, you worship Allah as if you can see Him, and if you cannot see Him, you feel that Allah is watching you. Abdullah ibn Mubarak told a man as an advice. He said to him, be watchful of Allah. So the man said to him, explain to me, what do you mean by this word? He said, feel as if you see Allah everywhere you go. Abil Hussein ibn Hind was asked, when do shepherds are careful when they take care of the herd they are watching on? He said, when these shepherds know that the owner is watchful of them. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان يوم الدين. When one of the scholars was asked, how could a man prevent himself from looking at something that is haram? He said to him, once the person acknowledges that Allah sees him and watching him before his eyesight goes to something that is haram. It is from the discipline of the believers, brothers and sisters, that a person should sense that Allah is watching him and the angels are registering every movement and action that he does. And he knows that the shaitan would not let him follow the commands of Allah. Imam Ibn al-Qayyim gave a marvelous description. He said, the best cure is to keep yourself focused and busy in your mind and in your thought, and your mindset, and your thoughts and ideas, and your willpower, and your drive that is running in yourself, in things that helps you discipline yourself and enhance your relationship with Allah. He said, once you focus on that, you will realize that there is no happiness but when you are close and trying to please Allah Almighty, and the total misery when you are away and you know that the anger of Allah is upon you when you disobey Allah Almighty. So whosoever in his mind and in his thoughts are bad ideas and low ideas that are haram, this will affect him and will make the shaitan easy target for the shaitan to attack him in order to fall and do the haram. He said, once the shaitan takes over your thoughts, which are low, which you have embedded in your mind, he will spoil all of your actions and will try to throw into thoughts and ideas that are bad, and therefore he would deviate you from the path of Allah. But otherwise, once your thoughts and ideas on how to enhance your relationship with Allah and how to please Allah, therefore the shaitan has no way to take over your thoughts and in your faith. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu said it in a clear statement. He said, test yourself against the Quran. If you love Quran and you enjoy Quran, this means you love Allah Almighty and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you hate Quran, this means you hate Allah Almighty and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Brothers and sisters, several factors and principles in order to occupy our thoughts in the straight path to enhance our relationship with Allah is that reading Quran with proper understanding, getting close to Allah in nafil and sunnah and other extra activities to please Allah Almighty, remembrance of Allah throughout the day, and places where the Prophet Muhammad told us what to say before we want to do is the certain supplications that the Prophet Muhammad told us. The fourth thing, you set a priority, the pleasure of Allah before the pleasure of yourself. 5, to be watchful of Allah in knowing the names and the attributes of Allah Almighty. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Al-Malik, Al-Quddus, Al-Salam, Al-Muhaymin, Al-Aziz, Al-Jabbar, Al-Mutakabbir, all these attributes and the definitions and the meanings of them. 6, thanking Allah on the pleasures and the blessings, to be thankful of the blessings that Allah had given you in your life. Watching around yourself and knowing the blessings that Allah had given you, and to be thankful of everything that is around you that Allah had given you. 7, choosing the times where the dua is accepted and reading Quran, especially the dua between the adhan and the iqamah, or the third part of the night, or various times during the day where the Prophet Muhammad told us for supplications is to ask Allah for the support, and reading Quran and remembering Allah, and istighfar, as the Prophet Muhammad told us that he asks Allah for forgiveness every day for more than 100 times. 8, putting yourself, associating with self with a group that reminds you of Allah. Your colleagues around you are a reflection of the reality who you are. If you stick with people who are their main goal and objective to please Allah Almighty, you will be like them. If you see yourself hanging around with people who curse Allah, who do not follow the commands of Islam, this will affect your behavior. This means you change the environment to people who are fearful of Allah, and therefore this will reflect you and change and enhance your relationship with Allah Almighty. The last one, avoid anything that displeases Allah. Brothers and sisters, as I finish this khutbah, it is amazing the amount of heritage we have in the life of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and the companions of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. The reason why it is important that you read and understand the Quran first, not the meanings of the words, but the circumstances where the verses of Quran took place, and the life of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and the life of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, you will discover something that is amazing, that no one in the world has it. The power comes from the strength of the individual in his relationship with Allah. So many cases in the history of Islam, when the Muslims went to war, they were outmanned, outnumbered, their enemy was far more superior in numbers, in weapons, in size, and so forth. And then when the Muslim army leader asked the Khalifa to send him support groups, his support group came in 1 or 2 persons. With that person a letter from the Khalifa, an army this person is in will never fail in a battle. Once you consider whether it is scientific, mathematical methods, logic, common sense, nothing comes to a value. And yet the Muslim army won because of the power of individuals in that Muslim army, in that Muslim group, in that Muslim community of individuals who are focused in their relationship with Allah and the strength of that relationship in Allah. That's why how Muslims were able to gain power and move around the world and have Islam spread all over the world. The power from the relationship of the individual with Allah Almighty. Think again, 1.4 billion Muslims in this world. Where is their value in this world we live in? Where is their power? Where is their dignity? Where is their leadership? One answer is there. Once Muslims let go as individuals in being sincere, and these examples I gave in the khutbah tells you how the sincerity between you and Allah Almighty gives you the power far beyond anything else. Once Muslims realize that the power starts from the individual, and from the individual to his family, and from his family to the community, and community to other community, to a state, to a nation, to a country, that's where Muslims become leaders. I ask Allah Almighty forgive us and to make us benefit from the reminders that I have said. اللهم اغفر لنا خطأنا وجهلنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وما أنت أعلم به منا اللهم اغفر لنا ما قدمنا وما أخرنا وما أسررنا وما أعلنا أنت المقدم وأنت المؤخر وأنت على كل شيء قدير اللهم اجعل القرآن ربيع قلوبنا ونور صدورنا اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذ منه عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم نسألك الجنة اللهم نسألك الجنة اللهم نسألك الجنة اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من النار اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من النار اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من النار اللهم اغفر لنا ولوالدينا ومن له حق علينا اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات المسلمين والمسلمات اللهم اشف مرضانا اللهم ارحم موتانا اللهم انصر عبادك المجاهدين في كل مكان عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون وأقم الصلاة.